Have you ever found yourself staring at the baby monitor in the middle of the night, wondering if your grandbaby is really sleeping well or just lying there, restless and unsettled? Maybe you've noticed your daughter or son looking more exhausted every time they visit. Or perhaps you're helping care for a new little one yourself, and you can't shake the feeling that something about their sleep just doesn't seem right. You're not alone. Sleep can be one of the trickiest things to navigate with babies. And as grandparents, caregivers, or just loving supporters in the background, we often have instincts that something's off, even if we're not sure exactly what it is. Now, I know most of us didn't grow up with fancy sleep training books or baby sleep consultants. We went with our gut, rocked babies to sleep, and prayed they'd stay down for more than a few hours. But today, more is known about infant sleep than ever before, and the truth is, some signs that a baby's sleep looks normal on the outside might actually mean their body and brain aren't getting the rest they need. That's why in this video, we're going to talk about 5 key signs that a baby's sleep isn't as healthy as it should be, and how you can help fix it, fast. Whether you're actively involved in raising a grandchild, or just want to be able to give gentle, helpful advice when your family's struggling, these tips are simple, effective, and rooted in love. So let's jump into the first sign, one that's often brushed off as normal, but really isn't. Your baby is waking up multiple times a night, every night, beyond the newborn stage. Now, don't get me wrong, newborns wake up a lot. That's just part of the package in those first couple of months. But if a baby is 4, 5, or 6 months old, and they're still waking up every 2 hours like clockwork, there might be more going on than just hunger. See, healthy sleep for babies includes longer stretches, ideally 5 to 6 hours, by the time they reach that age. And frequent wake-ups often mean something's interfering with their natural sleep cycles. Sometimes it's a feeding association. They've learned that the only way they fall asleep is with a bottle or nursing. So when they wake between cycles, they can't soothe themselves back to sleep without it. Or maybe they've gotten used to being rocked, bounced, or patted every time they stir. And that's exhausting for everyone. The good news is, helping a baby learn to fall asleep independently, even just starting with drowsy but awake, can make a huge difference. It doesn't have to be harsh. No need to leave them crying in a crib while you sit on your hands. There are gentle ways to gradually step back, while still offering comfort, and encourage that skill. And when babies learn how to self-soothe, those wake-ups start to fade like magic. Now, let's talk about another sign that something might be off. If your baby is constantly fussy during the day, even after sleeping a full night. We often assume that a long night of sleep means a well-rested baby. But the truth is, quality matters just as much as quantity. If a baby is waking up cranky, having short naps, and just seems hard to settle throughout the day, their sleep may not be deep or restful enough. Think of it like this: have you ever gone to bed early, slept 8 hours, and still woken up feeling tired? That's poor quality sleep. And babies can feel it, too. Sometimes, what's messing with their sleep is overtiredness. I know that sounds backwards, but it's true. Babies who stay up too long between naps or don't get the right amount of sleep for their age can actually become wired, not sleepy. It's like their little bodies go into overdrive, pumping out stress hormones like cortisol, which makes it even harder to fall asleep and stay asleep. So, one of the best things you can do is help set up a rhythm. Babies thrive on consistency. A short nap schedule, with age-appropriate wake windows, can work wonders. And creating a predictable bedtime routine, a warm bath, a little lullaby, dim lights, signals to their body that it's time to slow down. It's not just about making them drowsy, it's about creating a sense of calm and safety, where sleep comes more naturally. It can also help to keep an eye on their sleep environment. Is the room too bright? Too noisy? Are there distractions like screens or toys right before bed? You'd be surprised how much little things, like blackout curtains or white noise, can improve sleep, even in tiny babies. Now that we've touched on night waking and daytime fussiness, there's another red flag that's easy to miss, especially if you're not with the baby 24/7, snoring or noisy breathing during sleep. Now, I know, baby snores can sound kind of cute. But consistent snoring, mouth breathing, or pauses in breathing, even short ones, should never be ignored. They could be signs of something like sleep apnea or enlarged adenoids, which can seriously disrupt restful sleep. It's not just about the sound, it's about how those interruptions prevent the brain from getting the deep, restorative rest it needs for growth and development. If you notice that your grandbaby snores a lot or seems to struggle to breathe quietly at night, don't brush it off. Encourage their parents to mention it to the pediatrician. Most of the time, it's something that can be treated or managed, but catching it early makes all the difference. Healthy sleep fuels brain development, memory, even emotional regulation. It's not just about getting through the night, it's about building the foundation for everything ahead. So far, we've looked at a few signs: frequent night waking, daytime fussiness even after sleep, and noisy breathing, that could be telling you a baby's not getting the kind of healthy rest they need. Each one might seem small on its own, but when you take a closer look, these are signals. Signals that something isn't quite clicking, and that a little guidance, some small adjustments, can make a world of difference for both the baby and the whole family. Let's keep going. There's more to uncover, and some of the most surprising clues are still ahead. One of the more surprising signs that something might be off with a baby's sleep is actually what happens before they even fall asleep, those long, drawn-out bedtime battles. If you've ever watched your grandbaby fight sleep like it's their life's mission, arching their back, crying, or suddenly becoming very interested in the ceiling fan just as you're trying to lay them down, you know exactly what I mean. Now, sure, babies cry. And yes, some are just naturally more sensitive. But when bedtime feels like a full-on wrestling match every night, it's usually not just a personality thing, it's a signal. Often, it means the baby is either overtired or not quite tired enough, and that their internal clock, what we call the circadian rhythm, is out of sync. Think of it like trying to sleep after a long afternoon nap or drinking coffee too late in the day. Your body feels all wrong. Babies feel it, too, they just don't know how to explain it. So they cry. They resist. They cling. And everyone ends up exhausted. The fix? It starts with tuning into their natural rhythms. Babies have an internal clock, just like we do, and it can be gently shaped by regular wake-up times, consistent nap windows, and exposure to light during the day, especially in the morning. And just as importantly, dimming lights and lowering stimulation as bedtime approaches can help their little brains release melatonin, the hormone that says, hey, it's time to rest. Now, I know some of you are thinking, but what if they just don't seem tired at bedtime? That can happen too, especially if they've napped too late or had screen time close to bed. Yep, even babies can get overstimulated by screens, bright lights, or too much noise. If bedtime is always a struggle, take a look at the last hour of their day. Calm, quiet, and cozy really is the magic formula. Another sign that doesn't always raise alarm bells, but should, is when a baby's sleep isn't following any sort of pattern, even loosely. I'm not talking about strict routines or military-style schedules. But when sleep is all over the place, naps happening at random times, bedtime shifting constantly, and no clear rhythm, it often leaves babies cranky, wired, and harder to soothe. You might hear people say, just go with the flow, or let the baby decide when to sleep. That sounds nice in theory, but babies aren't born knowing how to manage their sleep. They need our help. And when sleep is erratic, their bodies never get a chance to settle into that rhythm they need to really thrive. So what can we do? Start small. Just begin by waking the baby up at the same time each morning, even if the night was rough. That one change, setting the morning anchor, can help shift the rest of the day into a more predictable flow. Over time, naps begin to fall into place, bedtimes become smoother, and sleep overall gets deeper and more restorative. And here's the beautiful part: once that rhythm starts to take hold, everything else often improves. Feedings become more predictable. Fussiness goes down. Parents feel less overwhelmed. And you, as a grandparent or caregiver, start to feel more confident that the baby is on a healthy path. Now, let's talk about something that's often overlooked but incredibly important: how the baby wakes up. Not just when they wake up, but how they seem when they do. Do they wake up smiling and cooing, ready to engage with the world? Or do they wake up crying, clingy, or groggy, like they've barely slept at all? How a baby wakes can tell us a lot about the quality of their rest. A well-rested baby typically wakes up gradually, alert and curious. But if they seem irritable, disoriented, or clingier than usual, it could mean they're waking up from the wrong part of a sleep cycle or not getting enough deep sleep in the first place. Sometimes, early wake-ups, like waking up at 4 or 5 a.m. and refusing to go back to sleep, can be a sign of this, too. It's tempting to think they just don't need that much sleep, but more often than not, they're actually not getting enough. Their body clock is off, or something in their sleep environment is nudging them awake too early. Simple tweaks can help. Making sure the room is dark enough in the early morning hours, using white noise to block out those early birds or garbage trucks outside, and avoiding letting the baby nap too early in the day can gently encourage them to sleep a little longer. And if you're ever in doubt about how well your grandbaby is sleeping, trust your instincts. You've raised kids. You've been through the hard nights and early mornings. You know what a well-rested baby looks like. If something feels off, it probably is, and you have every right to say something, gently and lovingly. Sometimes, all it takes is a fresh pair of eyes, yours, to notice the subtle signs that a baby isn't getting the rest they need. And that little nudge, that thoughtful suggestion, can be the beginning of real, positive change. Let's keep this going, because there's one more sign that can have a big impact, not just on the baby, but on the entire family dynamic. That last sign, one that doesn't always show up in the crib, but you'll feel it throughout the whole house, is when the baby's sleep is affecting everyone else's well-being. When parents are running on fumes, when siblings are overtired and acting out, or when you, as a grandparent, are being asked to help more often because no one's sleeping, that's not just a rough patch. It's a signal. You might see it in little things, parents snapping at each other, or forgetting appointments. Maybe mom's holding back tears over her coffee, and dad's walking around like he's aged 10 years overnight. Or perhaps you're the one being asked to watch the baby so they can grab a quick nap, and you're worried, but don't quite know how to say it. That kind of stress wears down even the strongest families. And here's the thing. While it's easy to chalk it up to that's just what life with a baby is like, the truth is, it doesn't have to be. When a baby gets good, restorative sleep, the entire household breathes easier. There's more patience, more joy, and fewer tears from everyone. So if a baby's sleep is causing tension, that's not a failure. That's an opportunity. An opportunity to look at what can be adjusted, gently, to make things better for everyone. Sometimes it's just about having the right conversations. Maybe you can gently say something like, "Hey, I've noticed the baby seems really restless lately. Do you want me to help look into some ideas for sleep routines?" Or, "I saw a tip the other day about helping babies nap better. Want to try it together?" Your support, spoken with love and curiosity, might be exactly what the parents need to feel seen and not judged. Even offering to take one bedtime shift, or holding the baby for a nap while mom catches up on rest, can help reset the whole rhythm. And when the baby starts sleeping better, you'll see the ripple effect, less anxiety, calmer evenings, and a renewed sense of hope. So, let's take a breath here and remember the big picture. We've talked about 5 key signs that a baby's sleep may not be as healthy as it should be. Waking up multiple times a night beyond the newborn stage, being fussy even after sleep, noisy or labored breathing during rest, chaotic sleep routines with no clear pattern, and finally, sleep struggles that affect the emotional health of the whole household. But what really matters here isn't the list. It's what you do with it. And if you're watching this video, I know you care deeply about the little ones in your life. Whether you're a hands-on grandparent who's rocking babies to sleep a few times a week, or someone who just wants to support your adult children with wisdom and kindness, you have a powerful role to play. Because here's what most people don't realize: healthy sleep isn't just about rest. It's about development. Every hour of quality sleep helps a baby's brain grow, strengthens their immune system, balances their emotions, and supports healthy habits for the future. When we help babies sleep better, we're not just easing the night, we're building the foundation for a healthier childhood. And the best part? You don't need expensive gadgets or fancy tricks to do it. You just need a bit of awareness, a little patience, and a whole lot of love. Tiny changes, like setting a calm bedtime routine, adjusting nap times, or making the sleep environment a little cozier, can create a huge shift. So whether you take what you've learned today and gently pass it along to your family, or you tuck it into your back pocket for the next time you're on baby duty, know this: your presence matters. Your wisdom matters. And the love you bring into your grandchild's world, that steady, comforting presence, might just be the secret ingredient that helps them, and their parents, sleep better at night. If any of this resonated with you, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Have you noticed any of these signs in the babies in your life? Have you found your own sleep tricks that work wonders? Drop a comment below. I read them, and I know others in this community will appreciate your stories and insights too. And if you found this helpful, go ahead and click the like button. It really helps others find this kind of gentle, supportive content. Don't forget to subscribe if you'd like more practical advice, encouragement, and wisdom for the wonderful journey of grandparenting and beyond. At the end of the day, we're all doing our best, with full hearts, even when our tanks feel empty. So here's to you, to every diaper you've changed, every lullaby you've hummed, and every bit of love you've poured into your family. You are so appreciated. Here's to peaceful nights, joyful mornings, and living your best life at any age.